Hello everyone and welcome back to the ESL Pro League. I give you the entire spiel at the moment, but you know exactly what you are here for. Renegades up against Luminosity, coming right up after a bit of a talk at the moment. What's going on for Luminosity and what they can do, and similarly for Renegades. I mean, feels like with Renegades, there's a lot of strong talking points at the moment, as opposed to the weak points. Whereas for Luminosity, it's a lot more questions to be asked at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I just find myself pretty disappointed by the Luminosity roster. Like, you could go from the biased AU caster and be like, yeah, Renegades are the best. They 16-3 them. Renegades has never had a problem dominating people in online pro league, and that's, if I was here to sort of line up and watch that, I'd be so happy with this Renegades roster. I'd be like #1 fanboy nonstop. I'd be just, fully content with life. But it's their results in Premier tournaments that I super care about. It's more so like the Luminosity squad really dropping off. If you looked at a match like this on paper, you'd be expecting something close. You'd be expecting a good game. I'm a fan of all the players on Luminosity. You got your 3 Premier players who used to be in a a grand final appearance actually at a major, from some of their players. It's just the problem is that some of those individuals were maybe not necessarily the most high firepower players.
I mean, we'll have to take a look and see ultimately. Maybe you can stream your thoughts and everything on an Intel processor, Mitch. You can maybe
True.
come out and talk about this a little bit more once you get your apartment up and running with the NBN. So, I mean, you two as well can game record and stream without compromise with an Intel processor. And, I mean, it feels good having a good Intel processor. I can multitask and make sure I can maximize my XP gains without really dropping off inside anything else.
Nice.
Always good. But going back into the point of, I guess, this Luminosity up against Renegades. Look, on the flip side, right? We're a disclaimer. We're always cautious about highly praising Renegades because as soon as Renegades go poorly, which of course we'll curse them with after this, is that we'll be getting called out for being biased Aussie casters. But I agree with you on the point saying that yes, they're doing so far quite well in the online leagues.
Yeah, I mean that's
this is
never been a problem for them, Kev.
Yes, they've been able to qualify for some of the EPL. For some of the EPL finals. We'll take a quick look at the Betway odds, and this is obviously going to be skewed right now for Renegades. I agree with that as well. They've been looking good so far. Luminosity have not been looking so far so great, and
Definitely not.
I mean, a lot of questions to be asked at the end of the day because you're saying that with Henny, Lucas, as well as Steele, this should be a core 3 alongside with the firepower Neckers and Yell that can take it against this Renegades roster, but they're not.
Yeah, I think it's been a sort of a thing for a while where, Henny has always been a bit of a streaky, inconsistent player. Steele has always been a player that if he's not surrounded by people who are consistent firepower stars, his level starts to drop off a little bit more. But when he plays in a Premier roster where people can really perform, he's much more high impact of a player. He's much more solid and consistent of a player, like you saw him on his Liquid and his Immortals on site, alongside players of a little bit higher of a caliber. And then Lucas has always just been your sort of one-for-one role player. So the question really is, like, when you look at the roster, when you go down the pecking order and stuff, the players who have a lot of tenure are people who are more sort of role players and are capable of having poor performances and bad games, which is where you really need to see Yell and Necky step up as sort of the young talent who are going to bring the firepower through. And Yell has always been somebody who's historically performed really well in Pro League. His stats in Pro League compared to, your Premier lands and stuff like that, or your Tier 2 lands are crazy.
But at the end of the day, it's like let's take a holistic look. You can't really look at just the individuals. At the end of the day, the team is not finding success, and
True.
you can't really pin it and say that it's this player's fault or this player's fault. All of them need to step up together as a unit
Yep.
and try to take against Renegades. I mean, Inferno is going to be our next map, and Renegades should be
Very comfortable on Inferno.
theoretically should
Incredibly.
be comfortable. It depends on how their site hold is going to go, how their rotational play.
I mean, we saw them playing against United, right?
We did, but that E United didn't particularly impress me because it looked like they weren't hitting their shots, right? We're talking about a
Yeah.
team that turns up and plays and sometimes they don't. E United looked a little bit jittery. We saw a much better Inferno showing against, I believe it was Complexity in one of the later match days. So I'm not riding Renegades or Luminosity into a victory or a loss just yet, but Luminosity cannot afford to allow Renegades to get to a racing start. They need to start taking a pistol, need to start doing a bit more, like, they can't just do economical damage. They need to start taking these rounds. On the T side, they have a bit more luxury of dictating the pace on where they want to be going and trying to engage in the firepower, in the duels that they theoretically should be comfortable with.
Like the setup here for Renegades. Jacob going to open it up with the first headshot. Flashbang comes out. He follows it up with another one. JKS not discovered yet, though.
Yeah, now they're just going out in unison as well. JKS picking up the 2 kills. It's all down to Henny just by himself, and he hasn't crossed the site. Liaz has just been looking sublime with the USBs alongside with the rest of the Renegades in that round. And just like that, nice setup coming in from the CT side to counter the Nano aggression from the Luminosity. And it's another pistol that is going to be put in the pocket for Renegades. They're going to secure it, put in the swag bag. For Luminosity, this is hopefully not a sign of things to come.
Yeah, I mean, if Renegades wins 4 from 4 pistols, they're already 3 from 3, it's going to be pretty hard to win the series. So, I suppose we will see. Luminosity just taking their time. I mean, they've only got Glocks, no armor, 1 P250. These nades are going to do a fair amount of damage to them. Jacob ready to clean up. He gets himself a triple. There it is, another very, very fast round. You need to be really careful with how fast you sort of lose these anti-ecos because you could have drawn out a lot more utility, but it's not only that. It's the fact that if you lose first gun really quickly, like Renegades runs down mid and you're unable to defend it, you can find yourself down 4-0, 5-0 really fast, and you can feel like you haven't even had a chance to get back into the game. And then you start to lose some close gun rounds, you're down 8-0, and all of a sudden it's Dust 2 all over again, Kev.
I mean, that is a bit of a danger, but Luminosity have the guns to be playing around with, and Lucas, man, he really has to land that kill at the end of the day, and I mean, they do get the 1-for-1 trade. Yell, though, taking a bit of damage from a grenade. He's still going to try and challenge it.
But the smoke gets deployed by the extra person at B there, and JKS still has full utility, even retains the rifle there. Oh, wait, never mind. Still got an MP5. My bad.
He picked up the FAMAS and went, yeah, no. I'm going to actually take the MP5 instead. So, I mean, with JKS having a full battle utility at the moment, it means Az is just going to be going back to CT spawn, going back to his roots, starting where he began. You know, it's just going to drop a shot. JKS is just going to go, all right, he'll concede the 9 position for now, but he's still got a bunch of utility to use. 50 seconds left in the round, and Luminosity are looking to slowly start pressuring as JKS misses, I guess, the Incendiary Grenade lineup. They are committing to this B site. Smoke is going to be used. JKS needs to be dropping this flashbang in utility soon, and he will be able to do so. That is going to be stalling Luminosity for quite a bit. They've only got a single smoke and flashbang to work with. JKS nearly torching to death. Azza is here. But so are the rest of Luminosity. And well, Azza, he's going to be dancing around the sidelines. And they have played this crossfire almost to mint perfection. And Yell,
he's got no armor, Kev.
Yeah, I mean, they just got absolutely mowed down. And Yell is just going to be contained. Gratisfaction going to be popping a flashbang over. And, well, Yell's completely blinded. And Gratisfaction just going straight in.
Ult from an MP9. Dream start. 4 alive. Plenty of SMG kills. Luminosity can't close out the gun round. It's like you're ticking all the boxes as Renegades. You're like, how can I get off to the dream start of a game? Well, I want to win the gun round on my bonus. I want to get all the SMG kills and money. I want to have like lots of people alive. So our economy is like 5,000. I want my AWPer to get an SMG kill on the glass cannon. Other AWPer an upgrade to an AWP himself. My God, the airstrike on Jacob.
Yeah, I mean, he cops it, he eats it, and he's down on the ground. And this is the best start Luminosity have had so far, so no complaints from me just yet. But this does mean that Azza has to make his way over into Nana, and JKS is trying to put himself in a position where he could potentially punish any overextending members from Luminosity. But they decide to back off after that early airstrike and just figure out what other coordinates they should attack next.
Taken Brackets control. Seal's holding on to the apartments. This is a very winnable round. Grat's going to have to hit multiple people running at him.
Steel does manage to punish Liaz for missing a few shots at the apartments area, but Az is here. He's dropped the Incendiary Grenade, and once again, it just feels like I'm watching the same thing over at that B bomb site. Renegades on the crossfire, just absolutely mowing down Luminosity, even though Luminosity might have had a bit of advantage.
Yep. And luckily Grat's able to close out that round by hitting consecutive shots. Someone getting caught out in pit a little bit there by people jumping out balcony. Plenty of money on the side of Renegades, even though they did lose quite a few guns in that last round. Now it's Henny on the ult. I feel like they have a little bit of a role crisis in Luminosity at the moment. Someone different on the AWP every round.
Much better coming out from Luminosity. They're able to bust through the smoke and get the trades in their favor, but Gratisfaction is still going to be here, dancing around apartments, and he's watching the right angles. Not for long enough, though. Still trying to step out and still trying to find the damage. Shake him. They're going to try and get the wrap around. Gratisfaction copying that grenade. Going to try and stay alive and just wait for the rest of his teammates to come forward, but just these loose little, I guess, edge peaks coming out from Luminosity are costing them because Gratisfaction has been able to put his mark inside this round. Flashbang also coming out through the edge of apartments. Yell and Henny trying to set up this crossfire. Time has slowly ticked away, though. But Gratisfaction drawing out the shots. Now they know where Henny is. And
wallbangs him through the wall there to close it out. What was that, a 4K?
Classic New Zealand AWP round.
True that.
Sure, bro.
Those New Zealand AWPers.
I mean, that was just disgusting coming out from Gratisfaction. And for Luminosity, that was the best start that they had, and they still got shut down.
Yeah, it's a bit of an awkward round they found themselves in, going for that contact on bracket with just the pop flash over the top. It goes pretty well for them. They get the 2 for 1, but they're just not able to close out that 3-on-3 because Grout just gets all the work done, picking them, crossing into the site, making sure he stays alive and continues to be annoying in apartments. But the bomb plant as well as the loss bonus is going to allow Luminosity to buy up into this one with a great buy round. And Grat's actually up in the apartments again. I'm not sure if they're going to expect it the second time. Wow, he gets spammed 100-0 through the wall. The wide ping from Steel is super effective.
Is once again another good start from Luminosity, but how are they going to be backing up these results is a real question. They've got the start that they need coming into the 6th round. Where are they going to go from here?
JKS still holding on to Banana here. He's playing quite close, so he needs to be very careful. Can't fall back and buy time if he gets 1 for 1 very quickly here.
I mean, he's just been mollied off as well, so is he taking damage?
Burning.
It's not burning. I don't know if they'll check this position. They surely will. And I mean, Henny is going to be blinded out. Jacob's come just in the split of time. And how does JKS get away with that once again? Jacob coming out and bailing out a mate, but Lucas is able to at least pounce and start creating, once again, another opportunity for Luminosity. They're going to be making their way over to the A bomb site, but I mean, Liaz is here, and this man is not looking just to get eco kills this time. He's just buying up valuable time for Steel, for the rest of the teammates to try to rotate around, and Steel going to be back at Diggity, but little does he realize Diggity, that's the Australian special. It's going to duck it and boil it instead. Good way of...
I don't think he has time for this. He's probably just saving his rifle.
I mean, he does manage to get at least one exit to try to keep Renegades' economy honest, but... I mean, this is looking way more dominant than Dust 2 already. Luminosity, they've been able to get the good openers, but the rounds haven't even looked close so far. You can say, yeah, if they got this trade, if they got that one, but Renegades have been able to put themselves in the positions where they've been able to get crossfires, and JKS and Jacob just making murder so far of this 9er position.
Yep, absolutely. Then you go over to the other bomb site and you got Grat and Liaz to contest with. I think before we saw Liaz playing the B site at the, against the United or whatever, but now it seems like it's JKS and Jacob. So they're still getting comfortable, swapping positions around here and there. Looks like Liaz is the pit player now.
And to be honest, I agree with this because you probably want your strongest defensive rifler to be inside that pit area.
I remember talking to Sniper about this a while ago, and he's like, he was saying how he always wants to put his best aimer in pit. I'm like, why would you put your best aimer in pit? Sure, you want them on Nana or whatever to go and take control of the game and whatever. He's like, no, because if he's in pit, they come up Diggity, my best aimer's there, you get killed. You come up jungle, he's in mini pit, you're dead. You come out carpets, he's still in pit, you're dead.
Exactly. Pit's always been like really strong position. Gratisfaction, he's going to find the first shot, but not land it. Luminosity still going to be persisting into this A bomb site as they're going to drop that incendiary grenade. Still a lot of time for Luminosity to work with, though. That's the only positive part, I guess, at this point in time. JKS still has, I guess, not the SIP, as you're going to hear that, but still a lot of utility.
Yeah, they have armor, some deagles, and some rifles. And they're just going to walk up.
Oh no, he just got absolutely railed by Azza, and Azza's just deleted all of them. Not all of them, but he might as well have. And at the end of the day, Renegade 7-0. This is looking like Ents at the moment. It's too easy.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, I can't really complain about this. I'm just going to let the bias show through at the moment and just go, look, Renegades are actually the best team in the world at the moment. Move over Astralis. Just going to make that call right now.
Yeah.
Just judging on online games doesn't matter better than Astralis.
I don't know. Online, they're pretty good. So, yeah. Maybe.
Now look at this change.
Online superstars.
Look at this change up coming in from the CT side as well. I mean, Neck is... Ouch. Oh. That's an oof.
Luminosity once again heading towards the bracket because it feels like they just haven't been able to touch Nana. The wide peak is very effective from Steel once again. Spams Grat, doesn't quite get him down 100-0 this time. Liaz punishes Yell to try and trade that frag out. So good little positioning, good awareness, playing off of each other.
I look at even Azza realizes there's a little gap there, but Henny, he's still walking in. He needs to make these plays to try to bring the advantage back in his team's favor. And Lucas, he's waiting for the peak, but still can't land it.
The crouch peeking AWPers are too strong this round, Kev.
And we never get the pick so far, but what else are they going to do from here? Steel using that one way, but Gratisfaction, oh no, Gratisfaction still on the site. Henny trying to get the boost around, but Gratisfaction is just too good. And Neck he's got the higher ground. I don't know how much that's going to mean because he drops down to the lower ground. And anyone watching Revenge of the Sith knows what that means as soon as you go into the lower ground. Well, tactical timeout has been called from Luminosity, but I don't know what can really change from the stage. It feels like they're trying to throw a lot of things in, but they can't take this Nana control of JKS and Jacob. And the defense so far from this Oceanic/European team, it's been too strong.
Don't know what to say. It just feels like no matter what Luminosity do, it's too hard for them to be able to close out these rounds. Like, you know, even in, you know, if they get the openings in the late round, something's going to happen where they get multi-fragged and it's not just able to work. They're just not getting the trades clean enough. The firepower's not there today. They're not looking switched on enough.
I mean, Gratisfaction has the confidence to try to go for the shot. Now they're going to try and take this top mid control straight through the smoke. Straight through a bit of incendiary grenade damage, and they're going to try and get this wraparound quickly into the CT position, and Azza is going to be overwhelmed before he can really put up a huge fight. Jacob is going to hear a lot of this, but where is he going to go? Dancing around, trying to get the spray downs as many as possible, but this is a perilous situation now for the Renegades players to be in. 8-0, same scoreline. JKS, though, still here. Still trying to do his best with a rifle, but unfortunately getting the dinks, I think, through the edge of the new box. Fast, explosive, but at the end, it's just Neck is left alive. He's got the M4 in his hand, ready to do some work.
Got light armor as well, so if the instant headshot doesn't come out, there is potential for him to win an anvil or two here. Liaz in the mini pit, though, is going to be pretty hard to deal with. There's a million positions he could be in at this point.
Neckers has to check the right one, which is always going to be so difficult to do. He is going to be checking the right corner, but it doesn't matter. Liaz has been waiting in that area the entire time. Even then, there was, once again, another brief glimmer of hope, but that candle was just snuffed out by Renegades, who have just been in dominant fashion.
This is a Grat I want to see. First couple games, I was like, yeah, he's hitting some okay shots, but he hasn't killing the entire enemy team. And that's just not good enough for my Grat standards.
That's our standards over here in Oz. It's like, if Grat's not getting at least 6 kills a round, he's just performing poorly.
100%. That's New Zealand AWPing standards for you.
6 kills.
Yeah, 6 kills a round at least.
Pretty much. You know, your Sickos, your Gratisfactions,
Sterling. How many is there? There's too many. Too many NZ AWPers.
Can't forget the great man himself, Chelios, so...
Don't know if he's on my list just yet. We'll have to see some new things. But coming soon, TM.
Yeah. Well,
not really relevant to our Pro League broadcast, though.
I mean, for any team that's going, which AWPer should we pick up next? I mean, there's a couple for pickups.
Yep.
There is a couple over here down under, and
send your Counter-Strike manager to the great land of New Zealand. Could visit some great Lord of the Rings filming
I mean,
locations.
the song goes, I come from land down under, and New Zealand's just a little bit more under, so... I guess it's applicable right now, but Luminosity still going to try for this top mid take. Yell's just straight through the fire once again, through the fire and the flames, but... I don't know if Luminosity can carry on and expect a victory from here.
I don't think so. I feel like it's a bit of a formality at this point.
I mean, if they're able to start grabbing maybe 1 or 2 rounds here, that would be a start. 30 seconds left in a round. Still got to get past Gratisfaction right now. Progression smoke coming out, but oh my goodness, Gratisfaction is just murdering people at the stage. It is going to be a wrap on the CT position, but Gratisfaction still chiming away with damage. Henny's here though, but Jacob, once again it's Jacob, coming out on top.
Steel just kills him full blind there, but already Azza's quick on the chase. Liaz together with him. It's an opportunity for Steel to double up, but he doesn't even get one. That was such a weird shoulder peek from Liaz. He flies around the corner and then jumps back, and then Azza peeks out. I don't know if that was even intentional, Kev. All on Henny, on 4 Harry Potters. What can he do? 2 on 1. He has to hit 2 shots.
Or he can just hit 1 shot if they line up for him. And they might have lined up, but Henny, he's going to flick on both of them.
There you go, vintage Henny. That's what we needed to see on Dust when they were coming up the B ramp. And they only hit 1. You got to hit 2 from 2. Henny's capable of hitting 10 from 10.
Oh, that's going to secure Luminosity their first round. I almost thought they lined up just then. The geometry almost worked out for Henny, but he doesn't need no geometry. Just needs a flick of the wrist.
And look how poor Renegade's economy is, even after being up, you know, 9-0. Crazy, isn't it?
Danger territory for both sides to be reset. He's already in the smoke, and the CTs have not heard this. They're not aware of what's going on.
Where's the flashbang coming out from Lucas? It's non-existent. He doesn't own one.
Oh, he's going to strike, and I mean, JKS coming back in. That's the B side open, and at the same time, Yell's also able to open up on the AWP or on the A-bomb side, and
that's
finally,
the kind of play when you're up 9-1 where you go for the re-peek there immediately from JKS that he would literally never, ever do in any other scenario. That's the kind of confidence being up 9-1 will give you. See how many of these guns Luminosity are able to hold on to, because let's be real, this is a resetty round for Renegades, and I was going to say there's no chance they come back into this, but they get their second round. Renegades' money starts to get a little bit dicey, and if they hold on to a lot of these rifles and start to get their economy going, this could be a 9-6 half. Yell's going to drop there to Azza, and Azza picks up the AWP as well for Grat, which is not a good sign for Luminosity. Anytime Grat's got an AWP in his hand, like we said, potential's there for the entire enemy team to be killed. JKS has 6k as well. Liaz can drop, Azza can drop, all by himself a rifle. This can still be a buy round, Kev. They don't need to take a save.
Try to see what they decide to go for.
I'd like to see him go into the double AWP. Back's against the wall, you know. You're going to get reset anyway, no matter what happens. May as well throw a little bit of a different look into it.
I think for Renegades, just getting a little bit caught out by the pacing right now. So Luminosity, what's worked with them was that split take was really well done. Definitely catching Renegades off by surprise, because before a lot of the strats were just fast and furious, and then all of a sudden Neckers is speeding down. Would have gotten at least a speeding ticket for the speed that he actually got and proceeded down into Nana. And this time around, though, the cop didn't catch him. Constable Jakin and Constable JKS this time around, they don't manage to catch the hooligan that is Neckers, and well, Neckers gets away for this one. But can he get away with another one? He's got the spawn for it.
See how fast he's zooming today.
He's slowed down. He's learned his lesson.
Put on the brake. So it's not a double AWP out, but it is very firmly a buy round.
It's not too bad of a buy round as well coming in from Renegades, thanks to the 2 rifles being saved. So
they've swapped things up though. Grat's gone towards B this time. Molly into Olof to make sure nobody can sneak up on Grat as he posts on T stairs now. Flashbang goes over the top, pushes him off a little bit, but he's not too scared. He doesn't fall back to site. He's still just getting information and holding on to Banana.
The double pit. This is the biggest fear of anyone that I see coming into the A-bomb site is this double pit setup. And you've got Azza and Liaz in here, which...
There's no Molly to push either of them away either.
But, I mean, they managed to pick off JKS and Jungle, so early pick-off means that they have the potential of getting that wrap down. And it might look like they are slowly starting to think about it, the bomb's set up close to that bottom mid area, ready to bust out through Nana. You've got still a couple just loosely holding on to top brackets. Nekker's going to be using a smoke just to push Gratisfaction off the angle and just apply a little bit more pressure, but he's not concerned at all until he has to back away.
Grat's moving his way back towards Coffins there. And it is going to be the jungle wrap into a split on the A-bomb site. Az is going to have to triple up from mini position or this round's over.
Well, I mean, he is looking to almost triple up, but Jacob's still alive in the corner of the site, and if he gets the spray down, Jacob! Oh my goodness. European superstar. Alongside with 4 Oceanic blokes. What can you do, Luminosity? Oh man, they just walk straight into that crossfire. That was just beautiful, crisp, clean recoil control. Just don't see it these days too often.
Those Norwegian riflers, Kevin.
Hell of a drug. Even the run boost coming out from Renegades, extra style points to see if Gratisfaction can get that pick mid. I mean, Luminosity have to force up here. JKS has picked up the second AWP. Not going to work out, though. Instantly nullified. Might be the go signal for Luminosity, but this Incinerator Grenade's only going to keep them at bay for so long. Gratisfaction might fall prey to Steel at the moment. He's got the UMP out.
Definitely possible. Luminosity grouping up towards this B area. Renegades with the triple rotate over Steel. Just seeing how far he can get out. Does pick up Grat, which is going to really play with the rotations. You see instant call there. Luminosity already all the way running up mid. And Liaz, he's going to have to go absolutely massive here.
Well, that's 2 already, but he's already quite low. Can't really put up that third fight. He was already tagged down to 17 HP. And Neckers comes down on top through the edge of the smoke grenade. I mean, Aussie boys, they've let the Norwegian down. And now Cold... The stone cold killer has to come in. He's just going to save the M4. Luminosity, they managed to make it 2 with the 4 spy. So still able to get a few more rounds on this T side. Luminosity are.
Two more rounds left in the half after the bomb goes off here, and both teams are really struggling for money. Double AWP actually retained on the T side there, Kev. Don't even want to run 1 AWP on T side Inferno normally. What are they going to do with 2, mate?
Probably drop. Oh, actually, he hasn't dropped it. No, he has. I don't know, Neckers, if he's got a good spawn, he can go straight out, so. Didn't work out, but I like the practice behind it. Jacob's on 16 kills. Man's a beast.
Pretty good.
Luminosity, they've just done enough to break that Renegades economy, and they've done enough to make their way back into this round, back into this game.
That molly and nade from Steel is absolutely brutal. How do you beat someone going 15 frags on the half so far? Yeah, strike him.
Twice. He's been airstruck a couple of times now, but... I mean, slow and steady for Luminosity at the moment. Leia still has a rifle in this balcony position, and I mean, the bomb is nowhere near any sights just yet. Still not going to clear this position. He is going to reload, though. Leaz now knows there is going to be one right next to him. Leaz slowly coming in. Might be looking to get this knife kill at the moment on Steel. Just gets the execute and he comes out to try to clear out the rest of the A-bomb site. He's by himself, and I think this might make Luminosity start trying to wrap over into the B-bomb site instead. Now going to continue forward in the C team. There are 3 USPs here waiting for them at this B-bomb site. Still 4 rifles for Renegades to overcome. And that is going to be the first... Oh, no, this can go from terrible to worse. If JKS is able to land a few shots, they're not going to expect Azza to be here, though. And Azza Can't land the shot into Nekis, who's just been too sharp so far. There was a hint of danger that could have potentially set in just then for Luminosity, but it didn't.
Yeah, they always like to go for a little bit of giving me a heart attack, I suppose, is what I'm going to say. Tend to run into the stacks a lot. I mean, we saw that again up against with the Envy Ghost series yesterday. Both teams were just consistently running into stacks. Liaz's going to be able to drop one over to Jacob and then buy up for himself. Last round of the half. What do you reckon, Kev? Big difference between 11-4 and 10-5? I mean, if Renegades continue to keep winning pistols, I mean, it's not as bad anymore.
But it is something for Luminosity to work with. That's the whole thing, right? At the end of the day, they were down 0-9 at one stage. It was looking like a Renegades roadshow, and it looks like a flat track, really, where Renegades are just absolutely bullying Luminosity out of it. But this is at least a fight right now from Luminosity. They're able to start getting a few rounds. They're starting to get a bit of damage, and they're building themselves a bit of a chance when they go into their own CT side as well, which isn't something I could have said maybe about 5 rounds ago.
Not as good of a buy as we've seen for most of the half from Renegades. And it's going to be a dig setup from them, and they're playing fairly passively on this B-bomb site. Jacob and JKS with the smoke, Molotov and flash between them, so enough utility to be able to defend any kind of an execute, but Neck is just going to throw a pop flash into the bomb site and head back towards A. It's going to be on this dig setup to hold strong. No AWP this time for Grat. He has a Molotov that he can drop as well as some flashbangs. Don't really think they're going to have to be... I don't really think they're going to be as big of an impact unless he has to retreat onto the bomb site and just drop the flashes to stall for time. What a time to drop the mid-smoke there. Right as the bracket exit comes in, Molotov going over the top, pop flashes out.
Doesn't matter. Yell's just busting out with that Tech 9, and eventually...
What a throwback. Haven't seen that in a while. The good old strafe out with the Tech 9, spam mouse 1. Oh,
I think that
didn't ever think I would have wanted to see that again.
I mean, it works out for Luminosity, and that should be, you'd think, enough to secure this 5th round for them on the T side, but there's still Jacob and JKS alive. A single smoke grenade to get rid of that pit area. Jacob has the kit to work with. Oh, no. JKS, he's realized he's done wrong. And, not JKS's finest moment. Luminosity have done well to get 5 rounds. Let's forget that ever happened, because that was quite bizarre.
This could actually be a lot more competitive of a game than the last map, so I'm happy about that.
I mean, outside of what just happened, Luminosity have done very, very well to get those 5 rounds.
For sure, yeah.
Have pushed hard, never gave up, never really just went, okay, we're just going to go fast every single time. They mixed it up. They went fast, they went slow. The Renegades now with a bit of a task really on this T side to try to attack the defensive sides of Luminosity, which, I mean, can definitely put up a fight now. The firepower you're saying was missing earlier is now slowly starting to show up.
Yeah, some of those individuals definitely able to double up or even just get those entries, but that's not even the thing that I feel like is winning Luminosity all of these rounds on the T side. I feel like they're going together a lot more. It's definitely some more structured and on-point calling. You know, you have your bracket takes coming out where the pop flashes are going in and they're peaking together. People are actually committing out and going in hard on the entries rather than... I feel like what we've seen a lot from Luminosity is mainly the only person who actually goes hard in for those entries on the T side has been Steel, I feel like, whereas now it feels like Neckers is really getting involved more and going in for those entries. Yell, you saw jumping out the absent, full committing there rather than, you know, just 5 Ts sort of going, You know what I mean, Kevin?
Yes, I do. Oh, no, JKS. No, we didn't need to see that. We don't need a reminder.
Replay unnecessary. That's
delete,
a lot of utility.
Delete this.
Delete this. That's a lot of utility there, Kevin.
A lot of utility, but that also means there's not that there's no armor. And what USPs do to unarmored opponents on the T side is they completely shred them.
Through that, Lucas holding on to the boiler in the middle. as Renegades slowly start to take control of apartments. Smoke into bracket comes out on the jungle side, and the CTs just walk through it. Steel drops the smoke on the choke point of B there, and we've got a lot of Renegades players in apartments. They're slowly going to make their way up middle, and out comes the smoke deep in apartments. Yell starts things off, doubles up in mid with Neckies.
Yeah, now they're going to try and jump in the pit, but Lucas is here trying to put up a good fight, but the Glocks cannot navigate the distance far enough, and eventually it's all down to JKS. This time around, still has the Glock, but he's surrounded from all sides, doesn't have body armor either, and Neck is just right above him in balcony, just looking to land a few more shots. You can just see any shot, doesn't even have to land in the body, just takes him down by about 20 or 25 hit points.
Is JKS left alive in the pit? No armor, I don't know. Doesn't seem likely, does it?
I mean, he has to hit some hell of a shots at the moment, and no one from Luminosity is offering the opportunity. You can see the discipline coming in from Yell. He's not peeking until the mini pit player has that visual contact, and Neck is then peeks out, swings out, then Yell's going to swing out, and finally JKS has managed to get a little bit of cover now from that apartments area. He's trying to fight it out against Steel, but it's not going to work out. There's just too many CTs. There was even one at Diggity, ready to make sure that he couldn't really cross out into the open. It was just a firing squad, and Luminosity finally managed to pick up a pistol,
which is their first of this series. 1 to 3 in terms of pistols, and that might be really what they need to try to get back into this game heavily and make this much more competitive. Already they're starting to catch up to the round total of Renegades. Renegades going to take the single eco, so assuming they don't just Glock all of the Luminosity players to death, which it's pretty doubtful.
We've seen a couple of times those last couple of days.
We really
to be
have,
honest.
though. It's been ridiculous, hasn't it? Lots of T's just chilling towards stairs. Smoke deep from the CTs. And it's nice for Renegades to just take their time here. It really just draws out a lot of utility extra from Luminosity. It's actually pick Neckies there. They can go for a bomb plant. And it was pretty close. Steel was in on the rotate though.
Yeah. It was never close for Luminosity. Or should I say, never close for Renegades. Luminosity just, with SMGs against Glocks. Yes, I've seen Glocks reign supreme before, but this didn't look like a case. AKs are going to come out though for Renegades, and for Luminosity, what weapon does Yell have? He also has an SMG. So what they want to do here is secure the bonus round and inflict some of the pain that Renegades did earlier. As, oh my goodness, Neckers, he's fast. He's on 2 heads right down into Nana. But there's no one there.
Yep, just taking their time to take Nana control as they are aware Luminosity is going for that control. Instead, Renegades just goes for the apartments. So from here, I mean, they can go for a bit of an exec onto the A-bomb site pretty quickly. Preferably before Neckies makes his way all the way back to A. And it's looking like that's what they're going to do. Smoke goes over to Moto, pop flash over the top. 3 up Diggity, 1 in apartments. That is JKS taking his time to come out there.
Oh, that is a beautiful flash and HE from side. But Henny's going to burn alive. He wasn't able to put up the Molotov at the end. And Steel trying to hold his ground. Gratisfaction trying to flick between different angles. But Louds is going to be here. And he can't win that aim duel against the SMGs at close range. Azza trying to wrap around. This is not going to work out. He is losing this duel against Neckers, who has just an MP9. And Yell just making sure Azza cannot exit. It's going to be Neckers coming out on top of the MP5. And what a shutout coming in from Luminosity. How the tables have turned. This is much better coming out from the Brazilian side. And Renegades, now they're the ones sitting and scratching their heads to try to find a way into this game again.
100%. That was a pretty clean one. The Steel doubles up on the bomb site. The rotations come out just in time. Even though Henny, the pretty important player in pit, goes down there to just a Molotov. I feel like the Renegades guys were way too hesitant trying to come up Diggity there and actually commit to the bomb site. Pretty hard to go through that much utility to try and take Nana, and it doesn't work out for them as expected.
And well, they just get completely mowed down. They only get one single pick at the end of the day, and Gratisfaction has its eagle to work with, but 26 HP and no body armor. completely blinded out from the flashbang as well. It comes flying over. Is that Steel is able to close up at the end, and only a single round's difference away. What a comeback this has really been for Luminosity, and Renegades. Another buy round, a full buy round this time around. But similarly, Luminosity, this is not SMGs they're playing around with. They have all got AKs, 3 AKs, a single M4. Shouldn't say all of them, majority. And that's always a scary prospect. Neck is, you say, yeah, he's got an M4. He says that he can just destroy your entire army with it. Nana contest comes out once again. We've got Azza close in. But Luminosity, they realize the danger. They're just going to back away.
I feel like they've been pretty successful there with the hold on Nana and the utility usage, but they are instead going to go for the retake this time. Molotov goes over the top, Pop Flash goes out. What a sharp contest from Neck is, dear God.
Like I said, he doesn't need an AK. He doesn't need anything but just sheer mechanical ability. He just comes in, doesn't matter if his opponents are blind, it doesn't matter if there's a smoke there. Just comes flying through. This is the Luminosity I wanted to see. You're happy?
Yeah.
We have a contest on our hands now.
I mean, if you just go on paper and you write down the names of each team, it's like Luminosity should smash them, I feel like.
I wouldn't say smash, but I would
favor... It should be like, they should be beating them like 16-10 every game. Like 16-8, I feel like.
Okay, that Nana smoke was questionable, but JKS can't land the shots on the lurk. Neckers, this time around, won't be allowed to continue the damage.
How has JKS made it through jungle? We're just too busy fluffing around, and JKS has snuck through jungle.
Luminosity had a 3-pit setup, so Liaz now trying to work around the edge of the smoke. The flashbang comes forward to try to buy a little bit more time, but Liaz, alongside the Molotov.
They have a smoke, Steel. Oh my God, he just runs through and kills him, but Grat's still alive. Steel with a ton of utility though, and he's got a Molotov as well. Oh my God.
Well, they're not going to expect Gratisfaction to be in this position. No, sir, they are not. He's going to be blinded off, and he's trying to make his way through the doorway, but he can dance around from both sides. Out comes the Incendiary Grenade, and Gratisfaction still lands the shot. Renegades finally pick up one.
They do all die, though. And
they all die.
The money is decent on Luminosity. The money's kind of a bit scuffed on a few players for both sides, but I feel like it's probably going to be a buy on for both of them. The bomb plant for Renegades, obviously the round win from Luminosity. You can't just save after you win the round. I have seen it. I have seen it, Kevin. I've seen it once or twice.
I've told you my theory before.
What theory is that?
If you are really good at 5.7s and pistols...
I've seen people do that. They win the round and they go, I'll just spend 1,500. Like, they do the old, like, half-buy purchase after they win, and it's like, hello? That was a great clutch from Grat, though. JKS is really the hero of that round, though. Like, it's a 5-on-3, and he finds a way to sneak through jungle. Doesn't double up, but he finds where Neckers is after getting that first kill and tags him up a lot, which allows the other two to get back into the bomb site.
But the CTs can still get the double-up setup going, and I mean, look, normally I'm not a big fan of this double-up setup, but Yell so far has been good this series. Henny's been... He looked a lot better in Inferno compared to Dust 2, so... I'll give it the benefit of the doubt for now. Renegades, they had to resort on Galil's and a scout for Gratisfaction.
Yeah, look,
a CZ for Azza? What's this?
If you're unfamiliar with Australian slang and you want to know what the term scuffed is, then you should look at Renegades buy, and that's pretty much what the slang term scuffed means. Not ideal.
I do not like this peek into Yell because you just line up and... Oh boy. Flashbang also comes out from Neckers as well. He's got an SMG. They've just completely stopped. Yell's also covering off an angle as well. I don't know if I want to proceed at the moment for Renegades, but they do have to eventually. There comes that smoke from CT. It is going to blind them off this time around. Flashbang as well, but Neck is going to be trying to dance around Gratisfaction fast out with the Galil.
I don't know what you're talking about, Kev. This round's very winnable. Grat is going to be able to grab the AWP, but I don't know, JKS is going to hold on to that.
In a better position, Gratisfaction. Going to be ducking over to construction as well, but Az is going to be, or JKS is going to try and lock down this construction line with that AWP that's retrieved from Yell's dead body. All CTs coming in, but the construction flashbang coming forward. JKS has to concede the angle, but still just taking a little bit too long to clear forward from a couple of lines. Now it's a 2-on-2. New box has been cleared out. JKS, they know where he is. Doesn't matter if they know where he is, though. The CTs, JKS missing so many shots. CT now trying to converge in his position. Out comes the Incendiary Grenade, and Luminosity able to retake. Even though they got picked off firstly, they're able to come back from behind. Some smart utility usage.
2 E's for the Twins. Oh, man. I felt like that was going to be another 3-on-5. Renegades is going to win on that B bomb site. And the amount of Liquid demos I've watched where Liquid, they lose a man early to an AWP pick or something like that, and they just walk up Nana and 4-on-5 into the B bomb site and get those clean entries and just win the round like that. They go 1 for 2 or whatever. No matter how many people are alive, you can always walk into the B bomb site late round T side and still win the round. And you're seeing Renegades really abuse that in this game in particular. There on the retake though, Luminosity is able to get it done, which has been a big problem for them in this series. And as well as yesterday, we saw them have some struggles against Ints in that same department. Another save here for Renegades is going to allow Luminosity to even things up, but their money's pretty scuffed, Kev. And if they do lose too many guns in this one, then we could definitely be seeing them start to have some problems.
Oh my goodness, they are going to line up for Neckers, but still Neckers outputting a huge chunk of damage, and Yell, he's got the AWP at the long distance. Going to try and make sure that Tease can't cut this distance. Tease hopping around though, making it difficult for the AWP to land the shots, and Azza, he's going to have to make a move on soon. He will make this move on, and the smoke comes out just at the right time. Azza retrieving the AWP, still, he's going to be on the angle. And able to get the shot down just in time, all down to JKS. He's managed to get the bomb plant down. That's going to be cash, at least for the teams to work with. But still, so many members he has to overcome. And the first challenge in Steel is just too much.
Those 2 kills are definitely going to really start to damage Luminosity's economy even further, I feel like, though. Only 3 of their players going to be able to continue to start to build up some money, maybe 2 to 3K. Renegades are going to have a pretty good buy heading into the next one as we start to move towards 11-11. This game's getting very close. These next couple of gun rounds are really going to start to make the difference, and Renegades has had plenty of sample size to start to work out how Luminosity's playing, what kind of things they're having success doing and aren't having success doing. So this is where some adjustments need to be made. Grat gets the first pick there onto Yell very quickly.
Bit of aggression coming out from Yell, which is something we haven't seen before. Well, I haven't seen for a while, but this Nana control coming in from the CTs. Luminosity.
Neckers is just too good with the rifle on that Nana position. He's large and in charge, taking complete control.
Big unit.
Going ham. I'm surprised Lucas is even able to hold him up onto second oranges there. Got too huge.
Maybe Lucas has been deadlifting as well.
I'm pretty sure that Neckers should be putting Lucas on his back at this point, not the other way around.
I don't know about that. Lucas has been doing, like you said, he's been doing his role so far. Every single time you're seeing flashbangs coming out from Luminosity, I mean, I'm fairly certain it's coming in from Lucas.
Yeah.
So, all of the Luminosity, they're starting to play the roles, they're starting to hit their stride, and score lines are tied apiece at the stage, and Renegades, not in a favourable circumstance or situation in this round. Not favourable circumstances really at all, and Henny missing that shot though.
Three on 3, and they're going to resolve it at the B side again. 2 Luminosity players in some pretty annoying angles, both second oranges. This Steel and JKS, oh, that's a pretty important pick.
But they still have to go for the B site, and there is 2 on the B site, Neckers and Lucas. They've been waiting this entire time, and Neckers, he is a turret. You cannot move him, and even if there is one, there's another one. Finally, Renegades, JKS, he does the job.
There's no hesitation. You just see him sprint up there. There is no stopping. The movement keys are never not held. Straight in there, and straight into his head goes the AK bullet. Steel's forced up.
Yeah, I don't know really about that, and wow.
Oh, this buy.
Oh boy.
Okay.
This is Yell.
Come on, boys, you're just starting to make things competitive. You can't just go buying SMGs and shotguns now.
Hey, XM is a highly competitive weapon. I'll have you know that.
That was a one-on-one though that JKS won, so Renegade's money is not doing too well either. This is going to be an extremely important round, but for Luminosity to get it done with this weaponry, I don't know about that, Kev.
It's an XM. You doubted my boy, Yell.
And I'm doubting him now.
You're doubting it? Well, he's got Nana control with it.
He's got Nana control, you say. He's sitting at the wall,
That's not
cowering in the corner.
That's not cowering. That is an aggressive alpha stance coming out from Yell. And look at Renegades. They're so scared.
Legs wide apart, ready to go, ready to tussle.
Superior wide stance to the XM, ready to go. Renegades, they're not going to contest it. They realize they're going to go over into the A site.
No chance contesting that XM. The alpha male. You could just feel the alpha vibes radiating down Banana.
All right, I'm gonna pull it back a little bit. I started the silliness, and now the serious part's gonna come in. This is a huge round for both sides. The economy is broken. Force buys come out from both parties.
The utility usage is pretty much all gone there. Azza punishes the aggressive play from Lucas. The patience has paid off for Renegades. I don't know if JK is going to be ready to steal the swing on him though, and that's Apartment's control conceded to Luminosity.
Still able to go at least one more as well. And he's still alive at the edge of the smoke. Jacob, he's going to go down for the hunt to make sure that the pit position is going to be nullified. Yell's going to come in with the XM, but Liaz is going to prove to be the stronger alpha in this case with the Galil.
Liaz, the definition of alpha male. Just go check his HLTV profile. 13-11 for Renegades as Luminosity's money is completely crushed.
But that is an absolutely critical round for Renegades to win. And well done on that A site execute. You could see it going definitely wrong. Liaz was able to just hold on for a little bit longer alongside with Jacob to just clutch it out and really break the CT economy. This would be an absolute heartbreak at the moment if Luminosity were to drop down. They've been putting up such a good fight to get themselves back in this situation. The USP is going to come out swinging in unison over in this Nana area, but Liaz is going to be here to clean things up.
Anti-eco spray down master. He's on for the 4K. It's a good one for the old stats. Maybe that'll help boost his rating standards. Going to be a pretty lackluster buy coming out from Luminosity. I mean, they do have all rifles, maybe even an AWP, but not all the utility in the world. And that's what we saw being the problem in the last round. They just didn't have enough utility to go into the very, very late round. Like Renegades, they slowed things down. They took Bracket off of Luminosity. They took Apartments off of Luminosity. They put some pressure on Nana, but not too much. And they just waited for Luminosity to make a mistake. And that comes out with the pop flash for Lucas, instantly punished by Azza, and then all of the utility is dropped. Steel probably could have won the round there if he stayed around in Apartments, but Grat on the instant trade. And from there, Luminosity was not able to close out. And this has been a damn close game, but they're going to need to win this buy round.
Oh my goodness, Neckers, how is he so sharp? How is he so good? Yellow Neckers still trying to fight it out, but oh my goodness, the rifles this time putting in some work. I don't know how Steel died, but to Henny, that's all right, because at the end of the day, the bomb is just out in the open. Yell, he's had enough of this. Luminosity, that is a huge round to pick up on the back of Yell getting 3 kills.
And Neckers only gets 1 there, but let's be real, the amount of space that he creates and the amount of aggro that he draws for Yell there to clean up and spray down with the rifle is huge. He was the tank of that boss fight.
Yeah, and after all the tanking was done, the Alpha stepped up in Yell, and he just sprayed them down in Renegades.
But it wasn't with an XM.
It wasn't with an XM, it was with an M4.
Got nothing done with the XM.
Regardless of what it was, though, Renegades, their money is not great at the stage. And Luminosity, that was, I would say, a must-win round for them to keep the Inferno dream alive.
Definitely, and now that they've won it, I mean, Renegades, luckily that last gun round they did win has put them at enough of a round buffer to be able to take some saves and move forward, start to build up their loss bonus a little bit and just fortify their money. But they are going to buy into this one. I mean, they have only Azza who's really going to be struggling with the CZ buy there, but if they do lose this one, it'll be okay. They should only need to take a single eco and then straight back into things at 14-14. They just need to discuss and work out what is the strategy they want to go for heading into this round. They've had a lot of problems at Nana here, Kev.
The problems are still continuing. Yellow Neckers, they've been that 1-2 punch that have been able to hold on to Nana for quite a while.
Here's the thing, Kev. They've had so much problems taking Banana, but they've had so much success on the B-bomb site.
Flashbang coming forward, JKS is able to get the one onto Lucas and also putting some rounds downtown. Not expecting Steel to be here. Jacob fast from the trade. Renegades numbers advantage Steel, but Henny, Still with the AWP to work with.
Neck is
Luminosity.
again
Yep.
too good on banana.
Getting
Creates
that
the
under
space.
control.
Yep.
Look at the confidence coming out from Henny. He just goes, yeah, I'm just going to expose my entire flank to make sure mini pit's clean. But, oh my goodness, he might have found the timing, but he can't find the flick. Jacob. 2 kills so far.
They just stood completely still.
Going to be spoken of jungler committing to the A bomb site. Yell. He's blinded out, but he can duck behind that haystack. It's pretty safe for him to be doing. He's still pursuing forward, though, and I don't think that's the best idea because Jacob is just continuing the killing spree. Slow contact play works out for Renegades. And Luminosity, it's only down to Neckers right now, who has to make such a long rotation, has a smoking kit to work with, but still 3 opponents to find. He's just going to save. That's going to be a match point for Renegades.
But at least Luminosity put up quite a bit of a fight on this map in particular. Was good to see, but I feel like although Luminosity arguably even been the better team in the later portions of this game, Renegades got off to that 8 or 7 round start again. They got the pistol again, and unfortunately, it's, you know, only so much you can win rounds in a row before your opponent's able to work you out and at least get a few T-gun rounds in and start to recognize some of your tendencies. And unfortunately, especially in these later gun rounds on the T-half, the patience from Renegades has really been the killer from Luminosity, waiting for those flash peaks, waiting for all the utility to be gone, not over-peaking and contesting Nana too much and losing too many players to Lekis is playing out of his mind, even though he's only 23 for 21. Those shoulder peaks, extremely frustrating for Luminosity to deal with.
So
we are really lackluster buy for Luminosity.
It's all down to this, and they've got at least 2 rifles to work with, a couple of deagles, but Yell's already taken a huge chunk of damage coming in from that HE grenade. They're going to try and boost Neckers up, but Jacob, once again, late resurgence in this game, able to get the entries that they need, and Yell is just putting down 21 HP. That B bomb site needs reinforcements pronto, and that just means Renegades still with so much time to work with, they can just chill out and discuss what their opportunities are.
That's a huge pick from Jacob, because not only Neck is playing out of his mind, but he was the main person who needed to get it done for Luminosity. He had the AK and armor, he was the only one with weapon in that round, and he instantly gets shut down right at the start of the round in the position he's been most dominant. And already it feels like Renegades have crushed the main strength from Luminosity in this game, taken the Nana control fairly early on here, which means that this B hit, it's already been very, very successful from Renegades so far when they have actually been able to get onto the bomb site, even in disadvantageous situations.
Still got the rifles here, though. Still have pistols that they can make work with. I don't want to be blindly committing into the B-bomb site. You can see Renegades just testing the waters briefly. Henny exchanging a little bit of gunfire with Azza, but Azza comes out on top. But Lucas has managed to make his way into second mid. There's a first shot, trying to buy a little bit more time, but he can't buy any more. The other 2 defenders are going to be stuck on the B site. Azza's done enough work to keep them at bay, but the bomb is actually going to commit to the A bomb site.
It's all on Yellow Steel. There's no kit. The bomb plant goes down very quickly. JKS firmly in the big pit. You got Jacob in library and Azza on the flank. I don't think this round's winnable.
Yeah, and Jacob's just hearing everything at the moment. Pretty easy double spray down. Appropriate that Jacob picks them up because he's really been the man of impact for Renegades overall the entire series. Renegades do manage to close up with a 2-0 for today, but Luminosity much better showing on Inferno this time around. Just came in a little bit too late. They conceded too many rounds early on.
Yeah, I would have to say they did have a really good showing. They got a lot more rounds than they got in the previous map, and I even felt like when they were getting on a bit of a roll, you know, in the middle parts of that game, after the 8-0 start for Renegades in the earlier parts of that CT side, it felt like they were actually the better team there for quite a big margin. But unfortunately, once Renegades was able to get themselves off to a really good start, they gave themselves enough room for Luminosity to make a bit of a comeback, for Luminosity to start to show some of the cards from their hand, and Renegades was able to play off of that and make some good plays to be able to come back to the game by adjusting to how Luminosity was playing very well.
And similarly for Renegades at the same time as well, is that the composure to actually come back. It's really difficult to know that you were up 9-0 at one stage, but all of a sudden you go, hang on a moment, it's 11-all, how has this happened? For them to just concede a few rounds, for them to come back, actually close out the game in this fashion is, I think, a testament to their strength as well at the end of the day. But for Luminosity, it's going to be close but no cigar once again. For Renegades, it's continuing the winning streak, and, well, the question is, obviously, are going to be on the main screen after this. What happens when an indomitable force meets an unmovable object? It's going to be the real question. Ghost versus Renegades. Neither of them have dropped a game so far in the EPL, which is something that, honestly, I wouldn't have initially said early on would have been my picks, my teams.
Yeah.
That would have fallen, that would have gone undefeated just yet. Bear in mind, though, Renegades haven't really encountered your teams like Liquid just yet.
True. I think Renegades, the main thing is, like, the middle part of that game was a lot more representative on what an average Renegades game looks like when they're under a little bit more pressure, like in a LAN environment like you saw at Star Series. You very rarely at the big LAN tournaments see them get off to like these huge starts. Like every now and again they'll get off to like an 8-0 or 9-0 start, but I feel like the games are always a lot more back and forth, and we saw a lot more of a fair representation of a normal Renegades game towards the middle to the end of that game, where instead of Renegades just rolling them over and getting all the entries, cleaning them up and multi-fragging like crazy, Grad on the A site, JKS over towards the B site, you saw a lot more back and forth. You saw Renegades have to make a lot more smart decisions, waiting for aggression from Luminosity, shoulder peeking angles, taking map control with utility, and that's what ended up closing out the game, not the fragging power and individual players, but more so the micro adjustments and the overall strategy.
Yeah, and I think it was good to also see Luminosity also make those adjustments on the T side. And unfortunately for the CT side, they just didn't have enough space at the end to make the adjustments. They didn't have the money to do so, and unfortunately they fell short. So, but I mean, hopefully Luminosity are able to bounce back to this. Like you're saying, that G2 had that disastrous 1-10 start it was, and they're able to come back. Luminosity, they've got the ability to do so. They've got maybe, hopefully, a little bit of break, but I think week 2 action is just going to be continuing on. So it's not easy to be able to, I guess, fix the problems on the fly and try to get the victories, especially when you're going against stronger and stronger teams. But they got to at least try something.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at this point, you know, nothing really seems to be working. You only have a few sort of talking points as to how things are really going. So, I mean, for one thing, it's only up from here. You're on the improvement train. This is a roster that's a bit of a work in progress in terms of gelling these players together. You know, you have almost seems limitless talent in the Brazilian scene, but the main thing is formulating the right players together and finding the right roles, and even more than that, finding the right sort of players who can fill the role players. You know, you always need in all of your better Brazilian teams, like your Immortals, your MIBRs or SKs or whatever, you always have those role players who are able to sort of fill the shoes and be the glue players that you need to make it work. And Luminosity has those, but it feels like they just haven't found the right formula yet.
Yeah, well, we'll have to, I guess, wait and see. Maybe they have to play some more ECA to, I don't know, at this stage, what the solution is for Immortals. I mean, ECA Pugs is always a good way to just get the aim up, but, I mean, it wasn't the aim that was a problem for Luminosity. It was really just, I don't know, even what the issue is at the moment. Is it just a slow starts at this stage, or?
It feels like there's a bit of a roles crisis. It feels like the players aren't fully into buying into the game plan and stuff like that. You see a lot of hesitance on T side. You see people who are like sort of going through the motions of their roles rather than taking over control and going in for the frags like you saw Nekis on Nana. It feels like everybody's sort of in more uncomfortable positions and they're not really able to sort of play their absolute A game just because of the composition of the system, just because of how people are trusting the calls and buying into what's happening, and just because of the roles that people are playing. I mean, you have two primary opposite trying to fit into certain roles. They're constantly swapping around the orb, constantly changing to rifle. How do you formulate any consistency in your game plan, in your default, in your T side or CT side, if you're constantly changing around positions and who's rifling, who's AWPing, and more even so, like, they don't really seem to have that player who's just going to go in first and make the entries happen.
Well, at the end of the day, there's a lot of questions Luminosity have to ask in terms of their internal camp. For now, though, the results do show that Renegades take the 2-0 over them, but we still have more matches for the rest of today. I believe it's going to be NRG up against Ints Esports just after this. Don't go anywhere.